All right, welcome back, everyone. Today's explainer is all about mastering your backyard oasis. Because let's be honest, we have all been there, standing on the patio, staring at a pool that looks way more like a bizarre science experiment than a relaxing summer retreat. It's incredibly frustrating. But today, we're going to demystify pool chemistry together, conquer those annoying maintenance hurdles, and figure out exactly how to keep that water absolutely crystal clear.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, pool shock basics. Second, chemical safety first. Third, steps to shock safely. Fourth, the cloudy water mystery. And finally, number 5, balancing the chemistry.
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, Pool Shock Basics, Understanding the Chemistry.
Now, when we talk about chlorine, you gotta realize that it is definitely not all created equal. Free chlorine? That is the absolute hero of our story here. It's the active, available chlorine floating around in your pool water that's basically on patrol, ready and waiting to attack algae, bacteria, and any other nasty contaminants. When we shock a pool, our main goal is simply to spike this specific type of chlorine back up to its ideal range, which is right around 1 to 3 parts per million. But, well, here's the catch. Once that free chlorine actually does its job and attacks the gross stuff, it transforms into combined chlorine, also known as chloramine. At this point, it's bound to the contaminants, effectively used up, and it's left with super weak sanitizing power. You know that really strong, stinging chlorine smell you sometimes get at public pools? You're actually smelling that used-up combined chlorine off-gassing. So, the golden rule of thumb here is that you need to shock the pool whenever your combined chlorine hits 0.5 parts per million or higher.
Moving right along to Section 2, Chemical Safety First, Protecting Yourself. 5,000. Just to put things into perspective, that staggering number represents the amount of people sent to the hospital every single year nationwide due to pool chemical-related injuries. Pool chemicals are perfectly safe when you respect them and use them correctly, but they become a massive, literal hazard if they get damp, wet, or improperly mixed. So, to make sure you stay completely out of that statistic, there's really just one golden rule you have to memorize. Powder in the water, not water in the powder. You must always add your dry chemicals into a large volume of water. If you accidentally spill even a couple drops of water directly into a bucket of concentrated powder, it can trigger an explosive reaction, or even release highly toxic chlorine gas. So snapping a tight lid on your containers the exact second you are done is absolutely crucial to prevent accidental moisture from getting in. You know, it's actually kind of surprising, but most of these accidents happen from really simple carelessness, not some complex chemical mistake. Just following a few strict boundaries prevents catastrophic fires. Keep your chemicals bone dry in a locked shed. Never, ever mix old and fresh chemicals together. And always, always use separate, clearly designated scoops for every single chemical. Seriously, just a tiny bit of cross-contamination on a shared scoop is a recipe for total disaster. All right, let's get into the practical stuff with Section 3, Steps to Shock Safely, the Action Plan. Okay, before you even think about adding a single ounce of shock to the water, you need to hit this exact sweet spot. You want a pH somewhere between 7.1 and 7.3. Why is that so important? Well, because a slightly lower pH actually supercharges the chlorine, maximizing its effectiveness and making it highly active and ready to completely destroy those contaminants. So here is your foolproof action plan to guarantee a perfect sanitization process. First things first, check your baseline chlorine and pH levels. Next, measure out the exact amount of shock you need based on your specific pool's volume. Then, carefully mix and apply it exactly how the manufacturer instructions tell you to. Get that water circulating nicely to distribute the chemicals everywhere. And finally, retest it. You gotta wait for the free chlorine to drop back down to that safe 1 to 3 ppm range before anyone is allowed to jump back in. Which brings us to a very common headache in Section 4, the cloudy water mystery. What went wrong? It is literally the most frustrating question for a pool owner. Why on earth is the pool still cloudy 24 hours after I just shocked it? Now don't panic immediately. Actually, hold on. It is totally normal for granular shock to cause a little bit of cloudiness right when you add it. It just takes time for the powder to fully dissolve. But if a full 24 hours pass and you still can't see the bottom of the deep end, yeah, we've got an underlying issue that we need to address. When we're playing detective with a cloudy pool, there are usually 5 main suspects. It's either a high pH level, high calcium hardness, high cyanuric acid, an overwhelming level of physical contaminants, or just really poor water circulation and filtration. The reality is, one of these 5 culprits is actively fighting against your sanitizer.
Let's learn how to fix this in Section 5, Balancing the Chemistry, Solving the Imbalances. Okay, let's start by looking at calcium hardness. That's just the measure of calcium in your water, which ideally should sit right between 200 and 400 parts per million. And here is a huge trap a lot of people fall into. A super common pool shock out there is calcium hypochlorite, or cal hypo. Just like the name implies, it adds calcium. So if your calcium levels are already riding high, tossing in cal hypo shock is going to instantly trigger cloudy water. And the worst part, fixing that usually means you have to partially drain and refill the pool with fresh water just to dilute it back down.
And you know, this right here is exactly why you can't just grab any random bucket off the shelf at the hardware store. For example, sodium dichloride shock contains cyanuric acid. Now, cyanuric acid is a stabilizer that acts exactly like a chemical sunscreen to protect your chlorine from being burned off by the sun's UV rays. But if your cyanuric acid is already too high, say above 30 to 50 ppm, adding more of it is just going to cause major cloudiness. In that scenario, you absolutely have to switch to an unstabilized shock, like cal hypo or a chlorine-free option. It's really all about picking the right chemical for your pool's specific current condition.
But hey, what if you check your pH, your calcium, your cyanuric acid, and they are all absolutely perfect, but you're still looking at a cloudy mess? Well, the answer might just be severe contamination. Think about it. After intense summer heat, the very early stages of an algae bloom, or a massive weekend pool party with a ton of people, the sheer volume of bacteria in the water can completely overwhelm a standard single dose of shock. In those cases, you might actually need to double or even triple shock the water just to completely burn through all of that organic matter.
And let's definitely not forget the mechanical side of things. Adding shock to poorly circulated water is exactly like pouring a spoonful of sugar into a glass of still water, right? If you don't stir it up, it just sits right there at the bottom and the water stays cloudy. This is exactly why you must run your pool pump for at least one full 8-hour turnover every single day. And it's especially important right after shocking, so you can thoroughly integrate the chemicals and let your filter actually remove all that microscopic debris.
Well, we've definitely covered a lot of ground today, from understanding the different types of chlorine to the exact action steps and troubleshooting methods you need to keep your water pristine. So take these tools, respect the safety rules, and go reclaim your pool. But as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. Are your current maintenance habits creating a crystal clear backyard oasis or a ticking chemistry hazard? What invisible chemical imbalances are currently lurking in your water right now? It might just be time to grab those test strips and find out for sure. Thanks so much for joining me, and happy swimming!